So what's your name and where are you from?
Mark Eglinton from NDA Engineering.
So what do you guys do at NDA Engineering?
Well, we do lots of things. We basically make things, mostly in stainless steel, so everything from tankers for milk and on-farm storage systems, drying plants for milk processing, big heat exchangers in the US for the chemical industry. We make things.
So a lot of people know New Zealand as an ag background. We've got the cows, we've got the sheep, but this is the technology behind the farms.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that we're great at growing grass, and therefore we've got good yield off the land. But it's taking that product from the land to the consumer, and really it's got to go into some form of storage vessel. It's got to be dried. It's got to have value add to it, and that's where we come in. We provide the engineering support to make all that happen.
How much is sold here in New Zealand, and how much is sold offshore now?
We're about 50% New Zealand, 50% offshore.
So how did you get the export business going? Did it happen naturally? Were people coming to New Zealand looking for the tech, or did you guys push offshore?
A bit of both. I mean, a lot of the technology providers in the dairy space are European based, so they'll be looking for people that can actually make their plans happen. And also we sort of took affirmative action and went out there and sought customers offshore as well. We've acquired a big business in the US, and that's obviously given us a substantial footprint over there, which is great.
How did you move into the acquisition? Is that through capital raising here or funding through profits?
Yeah, no, a bit of both. So some of the early stage acquisitions were just through cash flow, and then some of the biggest steps we've taken have been by bringing third-party investors on board.
And the acquisition, is that a key way to grow, you think, for a lot of different companies, or specifically the kind of business you're in?
I think it's a combination. I mean, I think you need strong organic growth programs. I mean, obviously they are very sustainable and long term. They're what I'd call capital light programs. But if you want to make a big change, you'd probably have to acquire things. And certainly in the industries that we're in, if you want to get a footprint offshore, you're ultimately going to have to spend some money.
How far through the journey now? How many years in business so far, and what does the future look like?
NDA is 104 years old, so it's pretty. We're regenerating it now, you could say, and so we're at a really sort of interesting part of the journey where we're bringing a lot of fresh thinking, and we're looking at sort of these global trends that are impacting people, like access to protein, access to clean water, specialty chemical, all the areas like that sort of seem to be in our favour. We have a engineering solution for those areas, so we're pretty excited.
So it's a global business, but you've been acquiring other companies. So how many staff would be in New Zealand? How many would be offshore? And where do you split the technical and the sales and marketing?
Sure. We've got about 700 staff all up, and a number of engineers in there, and about 50% of those are in New Zealand, 50% offshore. And the sort of competencies that we look at will be market dependent. So our chemical storage business is all the engineering capability for that sitting in the US, for liquid natural gas and coal seam gas, all the capability for that sitting in Australia, and for dairy, wine, pharmaceuticals, all of that capability, engineering capability sitting in New Zealand. So it just depends on what the sort of market need is.
For New Zealand, a 700-person company is a big business, but it's early days for you guys, it sounds like. What does the growth opportunity look like for you guys? Yeah, well, it's a blend of getting a broader portfolio of where we've been. If you look at New Zealand, for example, we've been very deep in dairy. Just about every road tanker you're going to see we've built, all the on-farm storage systems, refrigeration systems, wine. We're very deep in wine, and really right now we're looking very hard at sort of how you go about cleaning water and re-injecting it into sort of as solving an environmental issue. So we're sort of looking at broadening our product portfolio, and that will be out of New Zealand, out of New Zealand manufacturing. So that's a pretty sort of exciting step for us. Is there up-and-coming entrepreneurs in the space and smaller businesses that you guys are shepherding or able to shepherd through potentially through an ecosystem? Yeah,
I think we do work pretty closely with the smaller fabricators. They won't tend to have as much engineering capability as us. They'll be very good at making things, making vessels to a certain size. Quite often if there's a big project going on, they might pick up some small vessels and we'll pick up the larger ones. But a lot of them don't have the capability to work with the major international sort of engineering houses where we've got the high level engineering capability that can engage at that level.
Are you guys producing the final brands that are going right to the farm in the end, so you're getting the full value of the margin? How does that work around the profitability for your guys' business?
Yeah, so we, for example, if you look at a dairy farm, we'll have the farm holding tanks, so the storage system, which will be stainless steel, and there'll be a whole sort of technology around that, so we'll provide that, including the refrigeration of it, and obviously they need to chill that pretty quickly as soon as it's come out of the milking system. Then we'll be providing the storage systems for road transport, and then the storage systems when they get to the dairy processing side. When you look at the wine side, that's more, we'll be dealing much more with the winemakers at that point, and we'll be looking at how they cool and how they actually ferment their process and how we sort of can feed into that. So we've sort of participated right across the supply chain.
How do you feel about the role of New Zealand in global innovation? Do you think we're getting up the curve at the moment?
Well, I think there's areas of it, and it's quite encouraging, and certainly days like today are really good to see some of those areas coming through. But I think if I've got one area where I probably think we haven't quite moved as fast as we should, it's taking the agricultural sector, which is right here, a $24 billion sector if you take the top 5 export earners, and applying smart technology like we're hearing about today to that sector. I think we can just modernise the whole industry and take it to another level, and that's everything. The technology is right across the supply chain. It's all about food quality, food safety, traceability. Monitoring food through the supply chain. Then you've got right through to product development, customer access through IT, a whole bunch of stuff that we can just modernise these really sort of iconic parts of the New Zealand industry, because in the end they are the backbone of the New Zealand economy. So it's just, for me, my message today was really trying to marry those two things together: technology and the agricultural sector.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.